This week on CPTV, CPHS students participate in a nationwide walkout against gun violence. Ashley Reed brings us student perspectives on parking lot safety, and the Fashion Club hosts CP's first ever prom fashion show. CPTV is up next.
Last Friday, the CP football team got another good weather this morning. This weekend, CPTV.
Welcome to CPTV.
Hi, I'm Savannah Everson.
And I'm Armando Bracco.
Welcome to CPTV. Kirsten Robinson will have your 5-day weather forecast, and John Lieber will bring us CP sports highlights.
Here's what's happening at Crown Point High School.
This past Sunday, the Fashion Club hosted their first ever Spring Fling fashion show. The event featured student models showing off prom looks from various participating boutiques and hosted numerous vendor booths from companies throughout the region. Proceeds will benefit the St. Jude House.
I'm here to get my community service hours, and it's a really good time out here with my friends, and family's gonna come see me. A lot of vendors here, a lot of good food, and I just hope to have a good time.
I participated in the fashion show because I'm in theater, and every single day Michaela Downey is the person who does my makeup, and she does absolutely amazing. And she's the president of the Fashion Club, so she kind of dragged me into doing it, and this is an experience I'll never forget. I got to do it with all my favorite best friends, and I got to look really cute while doing it.
The Cocoa Exchange really appreciates as far as small business support. In fact, this morning I already had a first sale from a student buying chocolate for her mother. We do vendor events just like this. Next year we'd be happy to come back as a sponsor. And on top of that, we do tasting experiences, which we're raffling one off today, and we do fundraising as well.
I participated because I needed more community service hours, and then David's Bridal was promoting their dresses and giving away coupons, and so we all just came out here and promoted all the different bouquets around town.
In celebration of St. Patrick's Day, the Special Events Department of Crown Point presented their annual St. Patrick's Day Parade. Northwest Indiana residents gathered on the square to enjoy fun festivities and food vendors, concluding with the annual parade.
The reason why I'm excited is because I always like coming to watch the parade, and that's really it.
I wanted to come and have a good time and celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and I've enjoyed it ever since.
Last Wednesday, the hashtag National Walkout Day was trending on Twitter. This was due to a national movement sparked by the Parkland, Florida shooting. Armando was at the event and brings us more.
CPHS students gathered here in the gymnasium to take part in the national walkout to promote stricter gun laws in the nation. According to a Fox News source before the event, this walkout is predicted to be one of the 3,000 participating high schools protesting across the nation.
I did it because I wanted to support the people who died in Parkland and all over this country, not only in 2018, but even back in Columbine in 1999, all the way, back then. And I did it also because I wanted to make a change. And I felt like walking out of school for 17 minutes and telling the school that it's not okay for these, and telling the government it's not okay to do this is the right thing to do, I believe.
I think that we need to let teachers, let parents, let gun owners, let students know that things can change, and that the world is changing, so the laws that we have should change with that.
I want to see more people care about it, not just take it as a joke, really.
Because it's not a joke.
Start making actions instead of words. That's what I want to see more.
I think when we were looking to provide a space for students to assemble, it was only with security in mind and being able to supervise well. With students walking out, that creates a little bit of a different challenge, but I think that they really did a nice job with it. The walkout was not intended to create an unsafe situation, but I think to make their point.
After the walkout, we had the chance to sit down and talk with the students who had planned and organized it. So after having your walkout yesterday, how did you feel about the results of it, and how did you feel about the outcome that it had?
I think that it became a very powerful and empowering thing, despite the different way it went than we originally thought. I think it went really well, and that it, it empowered people, and that it really got people thinking.
How did you feel about it going outside originally? Like, how did you feel about the kids standing up in the middle of it and taking it outside?
It was a student-led walkout, so I am very impressed with the leadership and that we all had and the togetherness. And it was, of course, the original plan to go outside, so I'm very happy that that's how it ended up. And we had an open mic and people were chanting, and it was just a very exciting feeling when people were outside, so I'm very happy with how that went.
And what do you plan to do in the future to continue to fight this issue?
Specifically at the school is we're going to be starting a
Student
activism club, sorry. And that's going to start probably with the issue of gun control. And I really like the idea of starting with this because I think what at our school has what movement or club or anything at our school has started with this much momentum of students learning that they have this power and they have this voice and it'll be heard. And then our next action right after that, like Naya said, is going to the march in Chicago where you're going to be surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of people. So we're starting with a lot of momentum, and we'll probably focus on the issue of gun control since it's a really unifying issue, but I like the idea of it because it can expand to so many other things that affects students and people today.
Since a lot of the protesters aren't of voting age, what do you say to the generation that says they can't make an impact through these protests?
I think that that's ludicrous because the thing is that we're not going to be kids forever, and that we're going to be of voting age in a few short years, you know, and it's us, this age group right now, who are the most angry, who have lived through Sandy Hook, who have lived through Parkland, who have lived through just feeling unsafe in our own schools. You know, you have that moment of pause whenever someone comes over the intercom. We don't want that. I mean, it's just an announcement, but, you know, everyone thinks, well, what if it isn't? And I think that to the generation who says that we won't be able to change anything, they obviously don't realize that we're going to change everything because we're going to be the ones voting really soon.
While most students gathered in the gym during the walkout as per the school's request, one student held their own walkout. Junior Michael Croft sat by himself at the base of the flagpole in silence.
Well, I decided to come outside and outside the front door specifically because that makes a lot bigger and a lot better of a statement than standing in the field house or the gym, wherever they were, and cheering when you're supposed to be 17 minutes of silence for the 17 people that had fallen. And the silence is meant to commemorate those and remember what guns do. Guns hurt people, and they're tools, but they're used incorrectly. And there's no limits on those who can get it. And I think that's the biggest problem. In fact, to put it in layman's terms, how easy is it to get your driver's license versus buying a gun? I can't walk into a car dealership at age 11 and pick up my very own Toyota Corolla. You know, I have to go through a process. And first of all, I have to be of age to get a license to drive that car that I buy. All guns are a big part of school shootings.
In an effort to raise awareness for cancer, students and community members gathered in the small cafeteria for the annual St. Baldrick's event, in which some shaved their heads for a worthy cause.
Baldrick's Foundation raises money for children suffering from childhood cancer, and I can't think of a more deserving audience or people who receive our donations than, you know, children. They're innocent and they need our help. And raising money for anybody, doing something for somebody else, just is really great character building and teaches you kindness and giving. I think it's an important lesson.
I shaved my head because my grandpa had cancer twice 3 years ago, and I did it to support him and because my family was saying that I'd look cool bald, and ever since then it's just been a tradition for me to do it every year.
National Honor Society is hosting a Luau Spring Carnival this Thursday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in the cafeteria. This event is replacing Mardi Gras from previous years, and all donations will benefit the Northwest Indiana Cancer Kids Foundation. Last Sunday was a nice mild day throughout the region and had many looking forward to spring weather. But can we expect these warm temps soon? Here with your 5-day weather forecast is CPTV's Kirsten Robinson.
Last weekend, cool temps swept through the region, and this weekend looks like it could be much of the same with a chance of some precipitation. But before we get into the long-range forecast, let's take a look at what you can expect for the rest of the day. At noon, we'll reach the day's high of 39 with partly sunny skies, and as the day goes by, the temperature will persist through the afternoon. By the evening hours, those temps will drop to the low of 25. And for your 5-day forecast, Tomorrow, skies will be partly sunny with a high of 44. And on Friday, it will be just a little warmer with a high at 47. Looking into your weekend, on Saturday, snow and rain can be expected. Temperatures near 45 all weekend. And on Sunday, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 44. On Monday, you can expect rain with a high of 52. And that's your 5-day forecast. Have a great day, everyone.
Tickets for this year's prom, A Night to Remember, are now on sale online at the CPHS website. Tickets are $70 per person and $140 per couple. Tickets are on sale until noon April 6th or until tickets are sold out. Prom will take place on April 21st. Chaotic and hectic. Those words are commonly used to describe the student parking lot before and after school hours. Here with student perspectives on student driver safety is CPTV's Ashley Reed.
Let's be honest, once we hit a certain age, most of us are eager to get off the buses and start driving to school. With more students getting their licenses comes more traffic. However, in the past few weeks, there have been some minor accidents, leaving cars to get dents and scratches and leaving their driver aggravated. What are the solutions to these problems?
Me personally, I think that there should be more officers like directing traffic, because there's a bunch of crazy people that are like swerving, and it like takes me like 10 or 15 minutes to get out of the parking lot like every day.
Personally, I think we should have more exits and more entrances because of how dangerous it's gotten in the parking lot. I've almost been hit several times myself, and I've seen a bumper get ripped off a van, and the person that hit the van just kept going.
Okay, so I think, like, as far as the traffic control goes here at the high school, I think it runs pretty smoothly, but besides that, I think sometimes the traffic does suck and it is very congested. Like externally, like off-site, I think the traffic runs very, very smoothly, but I wish like in the parking lot there was more regulation, because definitely there's been times where I've almost been hit before, and that's definitely really nerve-wracking. But I mean, otherwise, I think the traffic control is pretty good.
In the afternoons, I've heard a lot about how hard it is to get out of the school with the cars and stuff. And I've heard that causes a lot of traffic, and that's why a lot of kids don't like to drive to school.
I don't really think there's any police officers can adjust how people drive in a parking lot. I feel like a lot of people will be more scared, like, of getting in trouble, but we already have the ones by the bus parking lot and in the front of the school, and people still don't seem to care.
No matter what, drive safely in the parking lot. For CPTV, I'm Ashley Reed.
The track team is the only spring sport event officially in season, and both the girls and boys teams travel to DePaul for another Hoosier State Relay qualifying event. Here with your CP Sports highlights is CPTV's John Lieber.
The weather is slowly warming up and the ground is starting to dry out, which means spring sports will be competing shortly. But for now, track and field are the only teams in competition, and they are doing that indoors. The boys and girls both traveled to Greencastle, Indiana, as DePaul University hosted the second Hoosier State Relay Qualifier. The distance medley team of Gino Crispinelli, Nick Ryan, Matt Hanlon, and Aaron Kamstra finished first. They will advance to the HSR finals this Saturday at IU in Bloomington. Also advancing to the finals at IU are Gabriel Garcia in the 60-meter hurdles, Nick Ryan in the long jump, and the 4x800-meter relay team of Cole Simmons, Josh Whitaker, Matt Hanlon, and Aaron Kamstra. For the girls, the 4x800 team consisting of Maddie Russin, Hannah Wiley, Jalen Burgos, and Kristen Casbon took second out of 24 teams with a time of 9:58. The distance medley team of Maddie Russin, Hannah Wiley, Kirsten McIntyre, and Jalen Burgos took first with a time of 13:16. Both teams are competing at HSR State this weekend, also along with Alyssa Hennessy, who will be competing in the high jump. The softball and baseball teams all start season play next week, with baseball games on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and softball games on Monday and Wednesday. And that's it for sports.
That'll do it for this week.
Remember, you can view all of our past episodes on cptvmedia.com.
And you can also follow us on Twitter at CPTV Media.
For Kirsten Robinson, John Lieber, and all of us here at CPTV, I'm Savannah Everson.
And I'm Armando Bracco.
Take care.